One of the most important, yet confusing piano concepts is technique. And because it's so misunderstood, it's often taught horribly. But let me tell you this, piano technique is the only thing you need to be able to play like this. In this video, I won't teach you everything there is about piano technique, but I will give you context to learn any concepts. Piano technique is really just about tension versus relaxation. And what really good piano technique comes down to is just of finding ways to play relaxed in any situation. To play relaxed, your hands need a structure to be able to support the weight of your arm. Without a structure, your wrist just collapses. So give it a powerful structure, that of an arch. The same goes for your fingers. Without a structure, they just collapse and fall under the pressure. Arch each finger individually, standing on their fingertips with firm knuckles, and your arm parallel to the floor. But here's the thing, none of this holds if you have a terrible fingering. Bad fingerings forces your hand into positions that break everything we just talked about. That's why I will always tell you to write down your fingerings before playing. But first, here's a few more things. Never lift your fingers on your own. You're cutting off support from your arm. The only time I would tell you to do this is when you're drilling for strength, but more on that later. But strength means nothing when your hands are tense. So don't fall for the trap that your hand should be completely still. And a way I like to solve this is with something I call tension checks. Small movements are actually a sign your hand is loose. A frozen hand is a tense hand. And once the key hits the bottom, stop pressing, the sound is already made. This only adds extra stress to your fingers. Now comes the most important part of finger technique. That is finger independence. This is the most common problem I see, which is normal because the fourth and fifth finger are naturally weak. And until you fix this, your tone will never be even. And the easiest and best way to build independent and strong fingers is to just pick a technique book and drill it daily. But what's even more important is not the technique book you pick, but it's the way you practice. And this happens to be the exact thing that my free PDF covers. So if you're interested, it's the first link in the description. When you play a note at the piano, your hand doesn't just go straight down and come back up. It goes in a curve. Watch these two pianists. What do you notice? They're not pressing the keys, they're dropping onto the piano. That's using gravity. They're dropping their arm, not their wrist or their fingers individually. You can even feel this for yourself at a piano or simply at a table. But remember what I just taught you to keep a firm structure for your wrist and your fingers. So drop your arm, but don't let your wrist go lower than the keys. You should loosely feel your arm hanging in between your wrist and your shoulder. Your arm slightly pulling downwards and backwards at the keys, but your fingers are just gripping on. You've just discovered arm weight. But how to practice this? Take just this two-note slur, for example. Think of a trampoline. You land on the first note and the second one bounces you back. Let the key do the work. Keep your hand loose, your wrist loose, your arms passive, and you're not just using your full arm weight either. This is exactly why you need to have strong fingers. They need to be able to support the weight of your arm and later on your entire body. Without that strength, they just completely collapse. Some teachers will tell you to rotate your forearm when playing trills or octaves. Don't. At least not yet. Forearm rotation isn't something you force. It's something that naturally happens. You just build strong fingers, you start at a slow tempo, and naturally as you get to a faster tempo, some forearm rotation will emerge. But not because you forced it, just because this is something that naturally happens at a fast tempo. And this ties into everything I've tried to teach you today. Don't force anything. Don't stiffen up because you vaguely remember some piano teacher telling you to practice in a specific way. If there is a secret to piano technique, it's very simple. Just try to play effortless. Watch the best pianists with their amazing technique and try to replicate that feeling. There's no gripping, no exaggerated tension or unnecessary movements. If that doesn't immediately work, don't worry, just bring the tempo down, only play one hand at a time, and then slowly start building that tempo up until the relaxation is completely ingrained in yourself. If you want to move even faster towards your dream pieces, I've built a complete system for that, which I'm very proud of. If you want to check it out, it's a second link in the description. Regardless, this video alone should be enough to give you a great foundation for your piano technique. So thanks so much for watching.